Warm, fresh muffins. They can be perfect for early mornings or just a dessert snack. However, store-bought muffins can be gross and dull, so I'm going to teach you how to make homemade banana chocolate chip muffins. For the ingredients and materials, you're going to need 3 ripe bananas, a pack of chocolate chips. I choose Ghirardelli because I like the quality. I usually use semi-sweet, but today I'm going to use milk chocolate because the rest of my family likes milk chocolate. And 2/3 a cup of sugar, 1.5 cup of flour, and 1/3 of a cup of melted butter. You're also going to need 1 egg, a tablespoon of baking powder, and a tablespoon of vanilla extract. Now for the materials, all you'll need is a whisk, a fork, a bowl to put everything in, and a muffin tin with the paper cups in it. Pause now for a list of the ingredients with their measurements. So the first step you want to do is set the oven to preheat at 350 degrees. And this is because if you do it before, by the time you're done mixing everything together, the oven will be preheated and you can just put the muffins right in. You need to peel the ripe bananas and place them in the bowl.
Mommy, can I help you? Mommy,
So usually you want the bananas more ripe than this because then it's harder to smash and they're not as sweet. So because they're not as ripe, I'm gonna just use the blender. So I left the bananas a little chunky because if you mix it too much, it changes the texture. That's why we use a fork when we mash them. We just put the egg in, as well as a tablespoon of vanilla extract. And vanilla extract also adds to the sweetness. And now we can add the butter and the sugar. And now we have to mix until it looks like a homogeneous mixture. So I just use a whisk for this because if you use an electric mixer, it usually overmixes and that changes the texture of the muffins as well. So now you're going to want to add all the rest of the flours. And since I used a blender instead of just using a fork, I'm going to put a little bit more flour so it makes the banana and flour together thicker. These are the chunks of baking powder that clump together. Once these are in the mixture, they can't be mixed out or mixed further, so that's why I sift them. And now we just mix the flour in until all of it's mixed together. So I use the Ghirardelli premium baking chips, and this time it's milk chocolate, but usually I use semi-sweet or dark chocolate because the banana, sugar, and vanilla extract already make it sweeter. So with the semi-sweet or dark chocolate, it just evens out the taste. However, since I'm making it for my family, they like milk chocolate better, so that's what I'm using today. But you don't have to use Ghirardelli, I just prefer it because I like the quality better. And the baking chips are bigger, and I like that. But when it comes to the chocolate chips, it's mostly about personal preference. Now, I'm only going to add around half the bag, just because they're bigger chips, so they take up more of the dough space. And then you just mix it in. So now, all the ingredients are mixed together, and we just have to put them in here, and then put them in the oven to be baked. So to put them in the muffin tins, I usually use this, and then a spoon to push it all out, and to make sure it doesn't get messy. I ended up accidentally putting a little more than 1/3 in each thing, and it looks pretty bad, but usually by the second batch it gets better. And it's okay if they look ugly because usually they look better once they're in the oven and they rise. Also, it tastes better than it looks, and that's all that matters. And now we wait around 20 to 25 minutes for the muffins to be done. So with the leftover batter from the first batch, I was able to make 8 more, and this is usually the proportion of batter you want to put in the muffin tins. Usually after the muffins are done, I like to cover them with a clean towel so that they don't dry out by being left out and that the moisture stays in them. So after 20 minutes of baking and about 10 minutes of preparation, these are the finished products. Warm, fluffy banana chocolate chip muffins that aren't like the store-bought ones.